On January 25, 2025, in Lady Lake, Florida, an officer conducted a routine traffic stop for a possible fake license plate, but had no idea the driver was on the FBI's 10 most wanted list.
Sorry for taking, I didn't know what supposed to pull over back there or not.
You're good. Okay, all right. Hands up.
This unsuspecting man happens to be one of the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives, Donald Eugene Fields II. On December 7, 2023, he was federally indicted in St. Louis on one count of child trafficking. The indictment accuses Fields of knowingly attempting to recruit, entice, provide, patronize, and solicit a minor into engaging in a commercial sex act for over 4 years. Fields is also facing a multitude of sickening charges in Franklin County Circuit Court in Missouri. Court records show that a warrant for his arrest was issued by that court after Fields vacated his home and failed to show up for a hearing on March 3, 2022, after he fled his home and disappeared into the wind. There's much more to this story that the general public isn't aware of. But first, body cam footage shows how Fields handles this traffic stop.
Hands up. Thank you. Driver's license, registration, insurance.
Okay.
Thank you. You got any weapons in the vehicle?
I don't think so.
Okay. So whose truck is this?
Joe, I'm an employee.
Okay. So this tag does not come back to this vehicle. This tag's not assigned to any vehicle.
Well, I don't know that. If you look, I'm a construction guy.
But as the driver of the vehicle, you're responsible for it. You have to make sure that it's legal.
I don't know all that.
Which is why I'm going to ask you for your insurance, your registration
She did
as
it all.
well.
She did
And
it.
she's okay. Great.
I work right, not trying to turn fast toward you. Right here at Lady Lakes, we're putting the pot bellies on. You give me 1 second, please. I don't know where the information on the truck is. I don't know that stuff, you know what I mean?
Well, good thing you got her with you, huh? Is that your license?
Outdated ones. She's gonna find it real quick. Give me a second. I got
Okay. Do you have a Florida license?
No.
No. Where do you live?
While it's unclear how truthful Fields is being about the truck and his employment, he is telling the truth about being from Missouri. When Fields was added to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list back in May of 2023, the FBI stated that the alleged trafficking crimes took place in Missouri. They also said he was last known to reside in Missouri, with family there and in Kentucky, and that he had traveled to Florida in the past. Considering this traffic stop took place in Florida, it's possible that once Fields learned of his addition to the 10 most wanted fugitives list, he fled to Florida as it was a location he was familiar with.
My eyes ain't good. Just give it a second here.
All right, so you don't have registration, you don't have insurance, and all you have is an out-of-date driver's license?
I got to know my driver's license up to date.
Okay.
This is my
but that's the one that you have is an out-of-date.
I mean, we could call the old owner of the truck.
And the tag that's attached to this truck does not belong on this truck. And I'm going to go check the sticker as soon as I get another officer here because it doesn't look right to me.
I'm just driving. I don't know.
Okay.
Can I get in trouble for that?
Absolutely.
Like what kind of trouble?
As you're the driver of the vehicle, you're responsible for it. It should be in legal status as you're driving it down the road. So if the tag attached isn't assigned and you can't provide me a tag for it, it's going to get towed.
Oh, come on.
I can't let you drive a vehicle on the road. You can't provide me insurance. You have no valid registration. The tag that's attached to it is not assigned to this vehicle. It's a non-licensed. It's not a licensed vehicle. You can't drive it on the road.
Maybe someone swap tags. I don't know. We can check it. It should be legal. But nothing else. Can I park it right at our work right here? My work's right there.
We'll talk about that.
Oh, here.
Okay. All right.
What do you got in your wallet? Will you check that for me?
What do I got in my wallet?
No, you have your ID in your wallet. Your valid ID?
Yeah, no, that's the only one he has.
Okay. All right.
Just look it up.
Okay, hang tight for me. I'll be right back. Hey, I didn't want to look at that. Yeah, that's what I thought. That sticker. That's what I thought. That tag's not attached.
The officer now runs the expired license that Fields provided. It was a Missouri license under the name of Walter Richard Long. A public obituary for the name, Walter Richard Long, shows a male who passed away in a senior home in March of 2021, 1 year before Fields disappeared. Coincidentally, Long happens to be from Missouri. Even though there is no publicly documented connection between Fields and Long, it's possible this could be the exact identity that Fields has been using as cover for the last few years. The female passenger with Fields was later identified as Jennifer Ann Fields, maiden name Jennifer Ann Isgriggs, indicating they're married. After running the expired license, the officer returns to get the vehicle identification number.
Huh, no VIN. Go figure. Open your door.
Right here.
All right, so we're going to have to find it on the vehicle. I need a VIN.
Right there.
Okay.
There could be, yes. I don't know. That could be, because I always got a gun, but I don't know if I brought it.
Go ahead and step out of the vehicle.
I want to touch nothing, so I'm trying to tell you wobble. I didn't know.
Officer, I asked you that earlier if you had any weapons in
I
the
didn't
vehicle.
know
You told me
if
no, and now
No.
you said I could have a gun. I don't know.
Okay, but I don't-
Ma'am, you get back in.
Okay.
You get back in. We're gonna deal with you one at a time.
Okay, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine.
You want both of them back there? All right. Walk back here.
After getting both of them secured, the officers checked them for weapons. None were found on them. Another officer then arrived on scene and used Lady Lake Department issued fingerprint rapid ID to positively identify Fields. The response revealed his true identity, which led to the officers' realization that their suspect is much more valuable than they previously thought.
Can you step over here more? Just open my doors.
Yeah.
So, this guy's on the FBI most wanted list if this is him.
It's noted in the police report that right after Fields gave his fingerprint, he and Jennifer began acting as if they were saying goodbye to each other. They were then asked to stay separated while the officers complete their investigation. In the description of Fields that the officers have, it is mentioned that he has a distinctive tribal tattoo. To really confirm that this is indeed the FBI most wanted fugitive that the officers think he is, they attempt to ask him to reveal what's under his shirt.
Mr. Long, one more thing for me. Can you turn around and lift your shirt? Show this officer your back, please. There you go. That's good. Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry, what do you want me to do?
Come on.
Slide the arm out. Slide this arm out. Come on, bro. There you go.
Hey man, put your arms behind your back.
What?
Put your hands behind your back.
All right. All right.
Stop.
I'm
pulling
moving. I'm
from
not
it,
pulling
okay?
nowhere.
Back the f up.
Stay back.
You
Stay
don't
back.
He cussed at me!
Stay back. Stay back.
I have had back surgery!
Whoa.
I have had back surgery!
Good for you.
Shut up.
Stop yelling. Unless you want to go to jail too.
Shut up. Just
I'm
shut
sure
up.
Missouri would love
Shut
you
up.
for your warrant.
Shut up.
Are you going to calm down or do you want handcuffs?
She's fine.
You're calm? Good. Do you have someone you can call to come pick you up?
Fields was placed in the rear of a squad car and taken to the Lake County Jail without further incident. As Jennifer was being released from the scene, she asked to retrieve her personal belongings from the vehicle. She then indicated there was a gun located in the vehicle under the center console. Officers then located a Taurus Millennium G2 pistol inside a holster with a magazine inside it and an extra magazine attached to the holster. It was loaded but had no round in the chamber. The gun was within reach of Fields while he was operating the vehicle, meaning it was also in reach throughout the entire traffic stop while he was inside the vehicle. Fields wasn't alone in his trafficking crimes. One of his associates was Theodore, aka Ted, John Sartori Sr. Ted provided cash, a car, a motorcycle, Christmas presents, and vacations to Fields from 2013 to 2016 in exchange for Fields giving him access to a young female victim who was only 14 years old when their exchange began. Ted was arrested all the way back in 2022 and was sentenced in November 2024 to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to a felony charge of travel with intent to engage in illicit sexual conduct. As part of his plea, Ted agreed to pay more than $25,000 in restitution to his victim. The victim said in court that Sartori's crime has caused lifelong trauma, hopeless relationships, flashbacks, PTSD, and low self-esteem. Fields has yet to be sentenced. However, he is facing a multitude of charges that will likely result in a similar or even longer sentence than Ted. Based on the listed charges, here are the typical federal sentencing guidelines. 15 years to life for child trafficking, a maximum of 15 years for statutory rape, likely 10 to 15 years for statutory sodomy, 10 years to life for child and up to 20 years or the life or death penalty for witness tampering. If convicted on all counts, sentencing would likely be severe, possibly 30 years to life in prison, depending on factors like plea deals, concurrent versus consecutive sentencing, and judicial discretion. Given the severity of the crimes, a life sentence would not be unusual. At 60 years old, a 30-year or life sentence would almost certainly mean he spends the rest of his life in prison. At the time of his arrest, the 9 other suspects on the FBI FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list were wanted for crimes including drug trafficking, sex trafficking, explicit content involving children, murder, large-scale fraud, dangerous firearm possession, stalking, and more. The FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list was established in March of 1950. Fields was the 531st fugitive added to the list. Of the total, 495 fugitives have now been apprehended or located, 163 of them as a result of citizen cooperation. And as with all suspects, Fields is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law.
Now, of course, police are used to pulling people over, and on many occasions, occupants of the vehicle are wanted. But when the person or persons are wanted by the FBI, it's a rare occurrence. And as an officer, I probably ran thousands of people. But when they come back wanted, it's a mix of adrenaline and caution, because no one knows how the situation will turn out. So today, we're back in Lady Lake, Florida for a traffic stop, and you guys should know by now that with traffic stops, you never know what to expect. So imagine that you're the officer investigating this traffic stop, and during your investigation, you find out that this guy is possibly wanted for some pretty disturbing things. And even though you're a police officer, you're still human. So as a cop, what do? You stay professional and you do your job. Now the officer approaches and she lets him know that the tag isn't coming back to the vehicle. And to me, his behavior seems shady from the start, because most people have the proper tag on their vehicle that they're driving. But this man claims ignorance while putting on his best confused face for this officer. But that usually never works with police. This officer turned over every stone, and we find out that the driver is using someone else's ID. But the male named on the ID passed away in 2021. And while the initiating officer is getting the VIN number, the driver changes his tune and tells the backup officer that there might be a firearm in the car. And this is why cops cannot afford to be complacent. And thank goodness that these officers were clearly not. Now, after the fingerprints came back and the officer confirms his tattoo, we then find out who our driver really is. So it all makes sense of why he was being so evasive and clueless about driving laws that we all pretty much learned during adolescence. And then we learned that there was a gun in the car and in the reach of the male driver. Now lastly, due to the seriousness of this case, remember that human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar criminal enterprise worldwide. And every year, millions of men, women, and children are trafficked worldwide, including right here in the United States. It can happen in any community, and victims can be any age, race, gender, or nationality. But remember, you can report suspected human trafficking to federal law enforcement by calling 1-866-347-2423. And you can also get help from the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. That's all I have, guys. Remember to be safe, and I'll see you on the next one.